Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clydeside Containers Podcast. This is where we get to tell you some of the news, incoming things, and some of the weird and wonderful individuals that are going to be involved in Glasgow's brand new premier eatery and live events venue. I am joined by viral sensation. We're going to start with that as an introduction, if we're all right with that.
You can't get cream for it.
We will go with Alan,
yes.
Crumbleologist, which is a mouthful on its own. Thank you for joining us. We've got a lot to unpack in this episode because, first of all, viral sensation, going by the will we call it a restaurant? I'm never exactly sure.
Let's just go for shed.
Let's go for shed.
Yeah.
Let's go for shed.
Or Crumble Cabin, I call it.
Crumble Cabin, I very much like.
Yeah.
That also sounds like a euphemism, but we're going to go straight past that. And we're going to go to the business. I think when we met up on, I think it was around about like 3:30, 4 o'clock or something, you guys were all done and sold out for the day.
Yeah.
It's been huge, the reaction to you guys coming into the bars. And how did that all come about?
Right, so literally I was a teacher until summer passed.
Wow.
16 years of it.
What was the subject?
Computer science.
Oh, nice.
So I am a computer whiz, like.
Was that going to take off?
From my graphic design, I did all branding myself. Might open a sideline. So no, I did all that. So, and then it just was like, for about 4 years, so I used to live and teach in London.
Right.
There's a similar business down there. We all know it. Give you a wee wink there. And it was just an inspiration. I thought, why is no one doing it in Scotland?
Yeah.
And for about 4 years, this just irked me. Love that word, irked.
Anyway. I liked it.
But yeah, so it just annoyed me. And then I said to the husband one Christmas, I want to do it.
Just want to take the jump.
And he said, right upstairs. And I went, oh no, the crumble. I want to do that. And then you see, I took 6 months on figuring out what I was in crumble.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, where do I stand in crumble?
Where do you feel on the kind of...
Yeah, like, what's my take on it? Where, my point of view. And it was gluten-free.
Right.
I'm from a family of no joy or hope. They're all celiacs.
Don't get me started.
Don't
get me started.
Sad. And then I brought crumble, and it's like light and hope and joy now.
So, it's going to sound like an odd question to say, but were you a fan of crumble before then?
Like, who's not? I think you're genuinely a psychopath.
Yeah.
If you don't like crumble.
On the tier system of desserts.
On the what system?
On the tier system.
Like, it's number one.
It's up there.
But I don't say it's a dessert, it's a pudding.
You think?
Aye.
You
like a dessert.
It's a crumble a meal all of its own?
Aye.
Yeah.
All these components. It's like science. That's why Crumbleology now exists. Trademarked. Just saying it is actually now. But
it's always a good idea, by the way. Always a good idea.
Thank you. But no, I just thought I just loved the idea. I've always made a mean crumble, but I did go back to what kind of my granny taught me. The one you learn at home ec.
Yeah. In
school, so it's just a traditional shortbread one, no faff and no oats, none of that.
No.
It's cheaper to make as well, but also it's just the nicest one. And then I just thought, so that'll stay the same because that's the crumble that people know and love.
Right.
But I can have fun with the fillings,
the
toppings and all that kind of stuff.
You think it's kind of like, because I guess there's like a whole, maybe it's a generational thing, but there's a whole bunch of people kind of discovering this as a dessert in a completely different way.
Puddings, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, I do keep saying dessert.
It's a pudding.
Maybe people watching it on the other side of the planet don't want to get it.
They need to learn pudding.
Well, we're going with pudding. And by the way, we're keeping the G on the end. Just made none of your pudding nonsense. None of your pudding nonsense.
But no, I think, do you know what the weird thing is? There have been so many people that have never tried custard.
Right.
Or haven't had, and the younger people haven't tried a crumble.
So
it's new to people.
Some people are freaked out by like custard.
Not if you're on my OnlyFans.
Well, we're going to get to the splodging.
No, I was only trying to throw it in. You can cut that out.
We're definitely keeping it in. But like you say, there's a whole kind of new generation. Because you think about the classic desserts. You talked about like your granny and what you would have. So there's always that comfort element. I mean, my granny made a mean, what you would call school, kind of school cake.
Yeah.
You know, the one that's just basically sponge with icing on it in hundreds and thousands. And it's like, I mean, it's a good time if I find that at a petrol station.
But this is the thing, that all those old school desserts are now back in fashion.
Yeah.
They have been for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
But if you go to all the markets, the farmers markets, which I mean are in abundance across Scotland, and I do think you have to go to these markets, support your small businesses. Yeah. That's how I started. And I still try to keep my hand in, but it's getting so busy now, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But those markets have some of the best food, i.e. myself, and old school desserts. But crumble is where it's at for me.
Yeah.
I like to believe I do a really good crumble.
Do you think by turning around and going, right, well, I'm not diversifying, we're not going to this massive, huge menu of all these different things, this is it, this is what we're serving, and we can do anything we want in this box? Do you think that's really been the hook for people, for you guys?
So. I think as well, it's got the nostalgia. So the older generation are familiar with it. The younger generation have seen it on socials and kind of go, oh, I don't have to go to London for it anymore. And then they come to me wherever I'm at, and now in Glasgow. Love it. But it's like, I just feel I've got my niche.
Yeah.
Like, I have so much fun with it. Like, I've got a new flavour. It's a rhubarb dragon fruit gin.
Holy crap.
I know, right?
I mean, that's a cocktail. You would just drink that on you. You drink that on its own.
I have, and then I put it in a crumble.
Oh, wow. Oh, right. I'm sorry. In my head there was a pint of your filling. It's like,
delicious.
We've taken a bad turn if this is happening. But the cool thing was, when we saw you in the shed at the bars, was the diversity of people that were coming up. I mean,
goodness.
it was like older folk, it was new folk, it was younger generation, it was people that had just discovered it. And a big part of that is going to be how you interact with people as well, because you make them feel very welcome and
slightly abused.
You think, well, sometimes people need that.
I think it's the accent.
You think?
Aye.
Oh, some people are coming up going, I need.
And then I have so many repeat customers who I love, and it's like they're like family now. And if I'm too nice to them, they're like, are you okay today?
Oh, wow.
It's got to that level of intimacy with the customer.
There you go, sweetheart. You enjoy that?
Yeah.
Is everything okay, Al?
Yeah. Normally you throw it at me.
No Fs.
No,
F-bombs
the weird thing is, though, I get so many messages from people from America who are coming to Scotland.
Wow.
Or had Venezuela.
Yeah.
And they're messaging me, like, it's just, must be popping up on their socials of this is something you want to come and try. Yeah. So they're like, are you going to be near Dundee? And I'm like, well, no, but come to this place.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, I'm actually getting people from all over the world messaging me all the time.
And they're saying,
and they've never had a crumble, so this is what they're coming for.
Never even occurred to me, those poor people in the United States.
Like,
is crumble even a thing over there?
Well, they took it and they ruined it.
How did they ruin it?
I'm not saying like the English language, but they call it a cobbler.
What?
Cobbler.
I'm not even a guy that fixes shoes.
Well,
moving on. I've seen that. Hang on, I've seen a cobbler. It looks nothing like a crumble.
Well, that was a crumble before they cobbled it.
How dare
they? Yeah.
How dare they?
Yeah. So yeah, they do have a version. It's not as good, and I think that's why they're coming. Like, literally, they're getting on planes to come and get the crumble now.
So what you're saying is Donald Trump's trying to put on tariffs and all that type of thing. We're not touching crumble.
Well, I'm in talks.
It'll be our big.
I'm in talks at the moment.
Directly with the White House.
Yes, we're maybe not going to put tariffs on it.
Oh, that's good to hear.
No, maybe the custard.
There'll be no tariffs on crumble. Talking about the transition from it being an idea to a business. So that's cool. You and your husband had been sitting down and not talking about the teaching side. Obviously, you evolve through life, don't you? And you've got to take a chance at some point.
I love teaching, and I do miss it.
Yeah.
Like, I had a structure to my day. Now it's like, get up at 10, walk the dogs, enjoy a cup of coffee.
This is for the self-employed people out there. Did you have holidays?
Don't have to deal with teenagers on the hour every hour.
Did you have holidays?
I have so many holidays and no holidays now. But I do absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
I do. And a lot of people say it's like contagious, like I don't feel I'm not putting on a show. That's genuinely me. Whatever you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And I do love what I do now. I really do.
So how did it go from making those first steps then? You've got an idea in your head. Had you been thinking about it for a while? Or
about 4 years.
So it just been kind of percolating there. Yeah. And when does it go, right, we're doing it? What's the first step?
It was literally at Christmas. Christmas one year, and I just said, I really want to do this. And I took 6 months.
Right.
Well, 7 months before I actually stepped foot out in the market. And what I did in that time was I looked at my point of view on a crumble. Like, it sounds like I'm naff, but I thought, what is my stance on it? Where's my USP? How am I going to stand out? And it wasn't a gimmick, because a lot of people go, we do this. We're vegetarian, we're vegan. And it's just a gimmick for them.
Yeah.
But you'll know the businesses who it really means something to.
Yeah.
You know, you can taste it in their food and you can see it in who they are. But gluten-free was my thing. I'm highly gluten intolerant, so I run the risk of pizzas. And but my dad and sisters are celiac, so it was very important for me to do that. And when we first launched, we didn't tell anyone.
Yeah. And
so many people, I remember doing one of the shows at Loch Lomond, and a lot of people walking by and they looked genuinely upset because they couldn't have it. They were like, I can't have this. And I was like, why? Come over and speak to me. And they were like, why can't I have it? And I said, or they would be like, oh, well, I'm celiac or I'm gluten intolerant. I went, well, you can have this. And it was almost like I was whispering it to them. It says, you can't, don't tell anyone, but you can have this, custard and all. And their faces lit up. And I've now got this following of like celiacs across Scotland who track me down to markets.
Building a secret army.
It's like the celiacs. So yeah, I didn't expect it to be that kind of niche.
Yeah.
But they are such a loyal following now.
So you did that for you. You came up with the idea for you and what was going to work for you, and right, we're gonna make this step. We're gonna get this out to markets.
Yep.
So even before you get to that point, you want it to taste amazing.
Yeah.
And was that a recipe? Like you mentioned your gran. Was it a recipe you done and you kind of refined it in the kitchen?
Well, that was it. It was just I always thought I'm not gonna play around with the crumble.
Right.
That has to be just a classic shortbread, the way it was back in World War, whatever it was, 2 or 1, one of them. I'm not really a history buff, but when it was invented, it was due to rations. So like they didn't have all the oats and everything to add all this little final touches to it and all. They had flour, sugar, and butter. That's what I've stuck to, but it's the ratio. Yeah. And with gluten-free flour, you don't want that powderiness that can stick in the back of your tongue or make you cough a wee bit. So it took a long time to perfect that. Even when I was in the Scottish Street Food Awards 2024, where I came second, just saying, they were amazed at the crumble. They were like, how have you made this not taste gluten-free? Right. So it took a long time to do that, but I also have basically an amazing chef husband, Edward. Yes. So he has also been integral to helping me. Oh, right. So you would kind of test on each other and see what it needed to be. So you had a clear vision of, I wanted to be like this. Yeah. I wanted to be really unique. I wanted to satisfy, gluten intolerant people and folk with celiac. You just wanted to have that kind of perfect taste. So that's it. We've refined it. We've sat in the house. We've gone through all the flavors. How does it feel about going out to that first market or that first? Where was it? Do you remember where it was? I do. It was 26th of August, 2023, and it was with Nick and Jude, who run these markets. And it was, which one was it? Might have been Linlithgow Market. Wow. I can't remember the actual market, but I just remember. Got into the Linlithgow Market? Oh my God, I love Linlithgow Market. We sell out every time. It's great. But the people are great there too. But we got in and I was so nervous and we looked so rickety. When you look at pictures back, we didn't really have nice banners or anything like that. We had like 4 soup kettles. Most of them were secondhand because we've been completely self-funded. Right. We've had no support financially. No startups. No, none of that. So we've been putting our own money in and building it gradually. Right. Which has really given us appreciation for every piece of equipment we buy. Just bought a new custard machine, by the way. Quick shout out to anyone over in the States. You've got to come and check out the custard machine. Yeah, it's the draw. It's a self-service custard machine. That's going to be a whole section of the podcast on its own, I think. But you're going out to the Lithgow. It feels kind of ramshackle, but it's going to be exciting. Yeah, and then it was a slow start. And we were like, oh God, nobody wants crumble. But then we kind of realised, well, nobody knows what we're doing. Yeah. So we just started going out samples, talking to people. I would literally shout at people and go, why are you walking past me? That's so rude. I'm here today. So yeah. And then they would come over and then they would try it. I'm a big believer in samples. Right. People don't know what they want until they try it. Yeah. Particularly when it's something kind of new here in Scotland, even though how long has Crumble been around? Well, I think it's a street food aspect of it. Yeah. It's like building it there and then. It's not like in a pre-packed, thing which most farmers markets have. The things made, it's packaged up, it's ready to take home. But this is ready to eat. Yeah. And people are like, oh, I can just have this now. And then I said, but if you want a lid, you can take it home. Take it up the road. So we covered all that, and then once it started growing, and then people were traveling up to over 6 hours to come for a crumble from like Aberdeen. It's crazy. Down to like Portobello, that kind of thing, or up from the borders. There's a woman comes up from the borders every month when I'm in Dalkeith, and she stocks up for the month, and then she comes back up again. Her and her husband on a motorbike. Crumble on a motorbike. Yeah. She's lovely. Like, so. Oh, man, but you have such an amazing kind of like you say, following of people that are not only, but they're following it, but they're also following you as well. Yeah. When you became, when did the name famous? Crumbleologist. Well, I was going to get to fame. We're going to talk about the album and and the West End running good time. Although it sounds like it could happen at this point. Do you know what? I'm open to all suggestions. If they've got that boy that fries stuff on the internet and he's done really well, you could. Who's that?
Oh, so no,
Is he more famous than I am on socials?
I wouldn't say so.
Oh, I hear he's like a spud guy.
Oh, don't. We're not getting into the spud chat just yet. But making that, when was it you started thinking, like, I'm educating these people, I'm touching base with people that are coming by, but I want to get out there on the internet and social media? Was that something you instigated, or was it by chance?
Because I taught computer science, all that kind of stuff, I want it away from all that.
Right.
But you need social media. There's no way a business can survive without it these days.
Yeah.
Now, I'm an Instagrammer. You can tell a generation by what social platform they're on. You have the Facebookers, geriatrics, no offense. You have the Instagrammers, youthful, young like me. And then you've got the TikTokers who are just still in nappies. But...
And we're not even talking about Blue Sky. We're not even talking about Blue Sky.
What is that? See, I don't even know what that one is.
Yeah, there's a new one.
Oh my God, I'm going to have to download that. Right, so, but I just thought, do you know what? I used to put up just pictures of my food,
right,
of the crumbles. I would tell them what flavours I was doing. And that was good. Like, I'm really good on Canva.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing. But when I started talking to the customers and they started saying, you should put yourself up, like, it was the customers encouraged me.
Yeah.
They said, you need to talk to us through that. And that's what happened. But I still feel like a Wally every time I do it. I don't think I ever will feel comfortable, but I have accepted I need to do it, and I just get on with it now.
I think that's an amazing attitude, because sometimes I think people are too busy trying to mimic like a presenter or something they've seen on like a show, and it comes across as really disingenuous. But you don't. You come across like that. This is it.
Literally, what you see is what you get. Yeah. And I probably should put disclaimers on some of them, but you know, life's too short, and I just think suck it up, get on with it.
They can't ban you forever. They can't ban you
They'll
forever.
Try. But no, I'll just bread them a crumble.
But in terms, so it was because you started doing that on Instagram.
Yeah.
That already kind of built up a following. But then, I mean, the first place I saw you, apart from, I think I went to one of the stalls at Loch Lomond.
Oh, yeah?
Went to one of the stalls at Loch Lomond. You know how they've got that really expensive fairground at the end, which is not worth it.
And the stalls are very expensive.
Well, you know, I don't want to say about anything, but...
but it's a great market.
£8.50 for a pig's ear for the dog. I still remember that. What? $8.50? But I remember seeing you there, but then I started seeing more and more of it on social media, like popping up on TikTok. Like, it's a completely different generation now that seem to be kind of finding it. I don't know if it's born out of lockdown, people going, oh, you know, there's that on TikTok, there's that on Instagram.
It's so weird, because I'm getting into TikTok.
Yeah.
So that's one I'm still have to get my head around. But there's so many people say, I saw you on TikTok, but they're saying it's other people videoing me.
Yeah.
So that's lovely. And they're putting out there, but they don't tag me in, so I can't reshare. But I just love the fact that people are that invested now, or that they love the experience, or they're loving the crumble.
Yeah.
They're taking that time to do it and post it.
Yeah.
Because without them, it's not getting that reach.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of loving that.
They're doing like there's lots of people doing like many reviews and what have you. And that blows my mind that they come to, you know, here we are at the Crumbleologist, tasting the food, they're doing the review, thumbs up, getting a whole bunch of shares, but not once they've actually went, oh, by the way, I'm over here reviewing what you're doing.
Well, the thing is, I've never paid for an influencer. I've never paid for someone to come and try it. Anyone who's actually eaten my crumble and reviewed it, they paid for it. And that's genuinely because half the time I don't know anyone who's coming up to buy the crumbles. I've had a few people say, oh, I'm on social media, I'm an influencer, and I go, yes, $7.50, thank you very much. Hope you enjoy. Because I do believe in honest reviews.
Yeah.
You know, if someone said my crumble was crap, that might have been a crap crumble day. Who knows? But the other days, it's all amazing. But
can I say how much I enjoyed crap crumble day?
You know, crap crumble day, you still pay full price.
If you can turn that around, you're having a crap day.
Yeah,
have some crumble. Turn that bad boy around.
But no, it's I think the influencers have really helped boost letting people know I exist.
Yeah.
And through that, I have had queues that seem to never end. So I am very grateful for that. And I love that they are willing to part with their money too.
Definitely. When did you start seeing that? So you're making the jump from doing the markets, the farmers markets, the food markets, and that type of thing, and now you're going, right, we're going to plant our feet down. How does that conversation even? What does it look like? Did you look at other options?
Well, I was doing farmers markets. My approach was not to do Edinburgh. It's not that I don't love Edinburgh, but it was a conscious decision because I lived there.
Right.
And I wanted to get out. I'm claiming I'm Scotland's first crumble bar. Right. So Scotland have to experience the crumble. So my ethos was get out, go to all these other markets, put the mileage in, meet as many different people as you can, go to as many markets, no matter how big or small.
Right.
Like, I mean, there are ones that are so small, it's like a corner of a street. But they're some of the best markets and the best laugh.
Yeah.
And then there's some that are so big that take a chunk of your money at the end of the day, but then you've reached a lot of people. So it was that kind of strategy, and it was a very conscious one to do that. But now I think I'm blacklisted from Edinburgh. Awkward. But
you can't be blacklisted from a whole city.
Listen, I think it might be. But
so it's Birkenhair and you.
Listen, this side of the country have just embraced the crumble.
Yeah.
And then on an off chance, I thought, I'll message the bars, because I knew a girl who does some bakery stuff there.
Yeah, yeah.
And a few others. So I thought, I'll just see if I can do a pop-up. And then he said, this wee shed has come available. And I said, I'll come and take it. I didn't even look at it, I just said, I'll take it. 2 days a week, Saturday, Sunday. I knew then it would impact on how many markets and that I could do.
Right.
But because I've given up teaching, this is now where I'm making my money to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So I needed something more permanent, a location. And my customers were asking for it, or the crumblers, as I call them. They've all been asking, where can I go to get your crumble?
Have you got a t-shirt or anything of this yet?
Well, I might have t-shirts in the pipeline.
Well, there we go. We'll come back to that in a wee while.
But yeah, so now I had this location. And then there's this. Before Christmas, I turned around to Eddie in the car and I was like, I need my 7 day a week. Literally, those were the words I said. And I says, I really need it. For 2025, this has to really start, making our lives, giving us something. And then this popped up on my Instagram, the Clydeside Containers.
Yeah. And
they'll tell you, the ones behind the camera there, they'll tell you that I probably harassed them on every channel I could. That was on the Monday night, and then I think I met with them on the Tuesday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So
I bullied them.
We've gone from the barras,
mm-hmm.
And when you're standing on that shed and you want to make that transition,
yeah.
When did you start seeing the kind of real? I mean, you've obviously touched base with people that know who you are. You're sitting down in the West Coast. But when did you start seeing those numbers coming up of those folk? I mean, you talked about that first day at the farmers market when you were like,
yeah, like it was a ghost town.
Why are people not coming?
Yeah.
Was it the same experience or was it different?
Bars was instant.
Right.
And that was because of another farmers market in Glasgow.
Really?
Uddingston. I'll give them a wee shout out. There was an influencer happened to be there.
Right.
And she had done a review.
Right.
I didn't know. And there was actually 3 over a couple of different months. And they all did the posts. And next thing, queues. And it was lovely. It was like crazy. And I don't like people standing too long, but there's times I've sold out and the queue's still there.
Oh, crap.
Like up at Christmas, I was at Steps Market, and I mean, there was a photograph a person sent me from the back of the queue. It was a lovely photograph. It looks like I'm at a rock concert. It's in black and white, all these heads that are just queued up, and my wee neon sign, the Crumbleologist, and it looked like they were so far away, but yet they didn't even get a crumble because I'd sold out, and I was cooking on the hoof. I was making custard as they were queuing. I said, right, 10 minutes, whipping custard. I had my wee oven with crumble bacon in the background. That's how in demand it was.
That's like when you used to queue up to the cinema when you were a kid.
Yeah.
We're trying to get tickets to see a concert, and then someone's going to cut. We're cutting off, and it was always in front of you.
Yeah,
we're cutting off the line here. Oh, come on.
The funny thing is you see people going, no, not me. No. You do see it. Or at the bars, what I've experienced is, I'll say, you need to come back in 30 minutes, so I'm just baking more crumble. And they're very good, they do. But then people just stay. And then I feel like I have to like entertain or talk to them. I'm like, just go away, let me close the shutter for a minute. Because I'm a bit overwhelmed here. And then they just will not move because they know they've got their place in the line. So when people start coming back, they know they're getting served.
Oh, that's intimidating though, those people do.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I need 30 minutes, well, 40.
They're very good about it.
I'm going to bake the crumble, have a quick cry, then I'm going to come back.
Manifest some happiness.
then we'll be back and we'll be good to go. Sorry, what was that bit in the middle? Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. But like you say, every time I've went, it's always been a queue. There's always kind of big smiley faces and stuff. We've got to talk about the menu. Because, well, first of all, it is one of the coolest and most unique things I've ever seen. Hearing somebody serving crumble, I'm already coming along. I know plenty of people. I think a generation of people crumble, I'm there. It's like when you go to a wedding and someone's done bacon rolls and pies.
But listen, I do weddings.
Oh, there we go.
I always say I do weddings, funerals, divorces. And I think I might be booked for a birth.
But crumble at a birth?
Yeah, like after all that hard work. Crumble and custard, get your energy back.
I've had 3 kids, and I'm pretty sure my wife would have
loved it.
Would have loved a crumble.
Listen, hook me up. I think actually it might be because at the last market, a girl was pregnant. I said, I'll do it for free. Because I really want to do one.
I love the idea. Anesthetic, good. Heart monitor, good. Crumble. I'm going to be 40 minutes. There's a queue, and it's just all these nurses right down the road. But putting the menu together, I mean, it's so unique. You walk up and you see the cute little shed. I think
it's cute.
It's a cute little shed. Yeah. And the first thing that hits you is do we call it custard machine, or what do we call it?
I call it the custard machine.
The custard
People
machine.
have called it the custometer because you can tell if it's a good market or a good day with how much custard is left in the machine. So yeah, custometer is maybe going to catch on.
Oh, you can always see the slight panic as well.
Yeah,
when you guys never let it get particularly low.
No, there's always custard being cooked in the back.
There's always custard being cooked in the back. But it's so eye-catching that people can dispense their own custard and all that. Was that a practical thing, or was it like, let's make it kind of like a box of wine at a night out?
Well, when we first started, we didn't have it.
Right.
And it was so annoying, like to keep stirring your custard, stop going lumpy, keeping it warm. I thought, it must be a better way of doing this. Mm-hmm. So I just put my thinking hat on and I discovered what I call a custard machine, which keeps it smooth, keeps it hot. And what I love about it is people are like moths to a flame. It just attracts attention.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that people can serve themselves, put as much or as little on. I do shout at them and put too little on.
Yeah.
Like, some people don't fill the divot that I put in their tub.
Perverts.
Yeah.
It's
slightly psycho.
I mean, it's like if someone says they don't like custard.
Oh my God, I refuse to serve. I have actually said to people, I'm not serving you because they don't like custard.
Why would you even open a conversation? You know what I mean?
Like, I'm like, who are you?
I'll have crumble.
I'm like, who invited this person?
Yeah,
like that.
I'll have dry crumble, which is still tasty, but you need a bit of moisture on there. I could have phrased pretty much all of that better than I just did.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking, do we edit that? Who knows?
We'll clip it, put it on
some
websites.
You will be happy to hear I have been working on my menu for the Clydeside Containers.
Well, so
we will get to that.
Going to come to that a wee
At the moment, it's just hot custard, folks. That's all you get.
Just hot custard.
That's
the
it.
Custard Oreo.
Not even cold custard, just hot.
But in terms of the crumbles that you're putting in there, I mean, we've got what would you say is on the menu just now?
So at the moment, I always have apple.
Yeah,
and it's the biggest seller no matter where I go in Scotland. Apple sells. So I always have apple, and I have the dishes you can add like cinnamon or caramel or both, or whatever else I decide to put on offer. I've had fireball shots with it. Yeah, at Christmas it was like a hot cinnamon honey whiskey apple crumble. Right. It was really good. Just top it.
Could you say that?
I don't know if I'm allowed to do it legally, but anyway, I did. So, but I've always got apple. I have the sexy cherry amaretto.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Seems to be a lot of people really do.
Well, Muller Corner has just copied me. Have you seen that? Literally on a bus stop, there's a Muller Corner cherry crumble, and I'm like, you've copied me. They didn't even ask. Like,
they're everywhere.
Rude.
The Muller folk are everywhere.
Yeah, hate them, but in a kind of good way. But no, I always have different flavors. I play around with it, so we will be going foraging soon to pick elderflower for elderflower syrup, which we'll add to the apple elderflower prosecco one that's coming. Summertime, we're looking more pineapple, brown sugar, spiced rum. I've got a cold crumble, so it's cold fruit. It's a peach raspberry chambord.
All right.
Oh my God, it's pure summer chill vibes.
I love chambord. I'll level with you. I have not the first clue what it is, but I love chambord.
It's a raspberry liqueur.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. But I'm always playing with flavors. Like I've got that new one that I just created last weekend. It was like an epiphany.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you get people coming up and making suggestions all the time?
No.
That's good to know.
No, I do get a lot of people come saying I don't like crumble.
Really?
And I go, thanks.
They go out their way to say, I don't like crumble.
It's amazing.
Crumbleologist.
Like, they'll just come and go, don't like crumble.
Oh, in that case, I'll shut up the shop.
I go, thank you for sharing. Don't know what to do now, but you're intimidating me. You know, or custard, that's it. But there's no suggestions on flavours because I think they just know now.
It's good to know.
I'm pretty good at it.
That's good to know. Because everyone always thinks their recipes are better.
Not better than mine. Because I will fight every granny in the country, like in a car park, to the death.
Had you got the full country in there?
I know, I just realised what I was saying there and I thought that's really bad. I
thought a granny was getting it full force.
Oh my goodness. It could have been really bad.
Right in the fifth. Right in the fifth. Although it's a great marketing
country, I have to say it country because apparently my accent makes it sound really bad.
No,
So,
certainly. But let's talk about the Clydeside Containers a little bit. We can circle back around to a couple of things. But it's exciting, of course, that you're going to be going 7 days a week.
Yes, I can't wait.
So
I'm so buzzing for this, and I think the whole country is waiting for this, not just Glasgow.
Yeah.
But I just can't wait.
And it's kind of cool how, like, we see it a little bit at the bars, but it'll be full blown at the Clydeside. There's a lot of camaraderie between all the other vendors, which is really cool. I think it's quite unique to almost to Scotland, actually. That. Yeah,
well, any farmers market I've been to, I call them my market family. I think you have to be part of that family, and the bars has that. I think they've always had it, but in that wee street that we are, it's now become a food hub.
Yeah.
But this is now going to be even better at the Clydeside Container, because you've got, these amazing street food vendors, and we all know how hard it can be.
Yeah.
And if we don't work together, it's not going to succeed.
And people are going to...
The customer wants to be part of that family.
There's going to be people coming to like other stalls, and then they're going to... I mean, they're always going to want a crumble. Well, there's always room for dessert.
Always. There is actually a thing, I read that in an article the other day.
Oh, really?
It's called Dessert Belly, where your brain makes space. Yeah. And that's why you always feel you can have dessert, even though you've just gorged on a massive meal.
Well, there's that, I don't know if you've ever seen him, but it's a Beard Meats Food. He does big eating challenges. Yeah. But after he does these massive challenges, we'll go, can I get a dessert menu?
Well, that's Dessert Belly. That's a real scientific thing now, apparently.
Don't put the word apparently on the end. That completely discredits the whole
Edit
thing.
Apparently out.
And now to speak to the World Health Organization, Alan the Crumbleologist. Good day. Good day. But
it was an article I posted.
It's an article you posted on Reddit or something like that.
Scientific
But what we're going to see that's going to be a little bit different, because it is going to be 7 days a week. We're going to get people coming from straight from work. We're going to get people on days out. Christmas could be insane.
Yeah, there's things I don't want to say yet.
Right.
Because I do like to keep it interesting. And my flavours might change week to week.
Right.
I will have 2 or 3 that will be cornerstones.
Yeah.
That now I know I love them and the customer just can't live without them.
Yeah.
But I will have new and exciting things all the time. And that leads me on to like my pores. I call them my pores because, not my pores, but like custard.
That makes more sense.
Because you pour custard. So I'll have hot custard and cold custard. But I'm also going to have double cream. I'm going to offer yogurt. I'm going to offer another one that's more summer friendly that I'm not going to talk about quite yet.
After Sun?
You just maybe not that one.
If you can make it edible,
you're not hired.
If there's anyone that can make it edible, it's going to be you.
Maybe, possibly, yeah. But no, there's things I think that people have to just stay tuned for.
Yeah.
I can't give everything. I can't show all your hands.
No, definitely. And there is going to be, like, there's going to be the folk that found you, virally. There's going to be the folk that know you already.
Yeah.
And the fact you're getting all these messages from everyone all around the world.
It's crazy. Like, so I did a little thing saying, oh, there's big news coming, because I thought, well, that's influencer kind of fun stuff. So I did it. And the things I got in messages, like, just tell us what beep this is. And these are people I've now served multiple times, but they get really aggressive.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, God, I can't even tell you, because it's like I've signed an NDA. But they're like, they really want to know what's happening. And now through this, this is it.
Kind of the big news is going to be out. I want to talk a little bit about you. You work with your husband, right? You work with your husband. Congratulations on lasting this long. I think that's amazing. How long have you guys been together? How long have you guys been together, first of all?
Are you my counsellor now? Do I have to pay for this?
Just a couple of quid. It's all right, though.
Okay, well, we've been together like 8 years, married 6. I know we were like lesbians. Very quick moving.
Just got in there straight away?
Straight in. 2 dogs,
cuts the bills
2
in half.
boys.
Cuts the bills in half. What are we talking about? But also, your husband's a chef working alongside you in the shed as well. Crumble Cabin.
Yes.
I want to get that trademark. We'll have to make sure we get the lawyers on that.
Crumble container.
Crumble container. Oh my, see, it just keeps going.
There you go, just keep going.
Just keeps going. How is that from day to day? Because it looks like you guys still have a lot of fun and stuff when you're in there working together.
We do. Like, he's a chef. He's a phenomenal chef. He has worked for some of the most prestigious chefs in London and Scotland.
Yeah.
I would name drop, but he hates it. He has like cooked for the Royals and stuff like that. So he's Michelin level in his own right.
Right.
He doesn't own a star himself, but he's helped other ones get it.
Yeah.
So he is at that level. So I trust where he's coming from. He's not as good at flavour combos as me, I have to say that. But he did really, he was the one that made the crumble not feel like it was gluten.
Yeah.
So I have to thank him for that.
You guys got together and you kind of worked on that. You worked on that together. That was a
Yeah,
team
we
thing.
did.
You supervised.
And he works for me. Like, there's some days I'm just not mentally prepared for it, and he'll go in and do it. He's a good soul. Whereas I'll watch a Real Housewives of.
You gotta have the release. You gotta have the release.
But no, I have to say, working with a husband, it can be strained. We probably do get divorced every weekend, but then we're back together on a Monday morning, and I love it. But we've now got through the Crumble. I have to say, because people have supported the Crumble so much, we're now able to entertain other things that are his passion.
Yes,
and they'll happen over time, and we're happy to, or we'll start releasing that information.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
it's all about working together and kind of just moving forward step by step.
We decided. Well, I turned 40 last April. I know I look 28. Thanks for saying.
Try again.
So I turned 40 last April.
What?
I know.
What?
I know. Thank you.
Come on.
I think it's the drinking water in Ireland.
Well, certainly not the stuff in Scotland. I can assure you that.
It's got a tang.
I think I got mumps off a glass in Cumbernauld a couple of weeks ago. So it's not good.
Lovely. Thanks for sharing. But yeah, no, I forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about working with your husband.
How young I am. Working with a husband, and I forget what I was saying. Let's just move on.
But one thing I wanted to cycle back to, we're coming to the containers. It's going to be really exciting. It's exciting because it's Crumble already, but the fact that it's gluten-free. Do you think that's opened the door to a whole bunch of kind of new eras and stuff?
I think because people know it's not a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's something I'm really passionate about. So everything I make is actually celiac safe.
Yeah.
And people don't get the celiac thing. They think it's just gluten-free.
Right.
But it's not. It's about these little cross-contamination things with the gluten. I'm just dumbing it down for you people. I actually know what I'm talking about. But it can be really dangerous to people, celiac disease. My dad actually had a liver transplant 4 years ago because he went undiagnosed.
No.
And we didn't know. And now we've all been tested. My two sisters now celiac. And can be really dangerous for people.
Yeah.
So when a lot of people say, we're gluten-free, that doesn't mean celiac people can have it.
Yeah.
But they can have my crumble without fear of any cross-contamination.
And has anyone, it's an odd thing to ask, but people can be so fickle. Has anyone ever went, oh, this gluten-free, it's safe for celiac? And they went, oh, I've been lied to. How dare you?
No, that has never happened. And
Good.
it never will happen,
Good.
Billy.
Good.
How dare you even suggest
Genuinely
that?
worried about that because people can be.
You're basically dead to me after that call.
People can be weird. People can be weird.
Yeah, I live in Scotland. I love you all. But no, do you know what? The celiac crowd have been amazing. They're a cornerstone of my business now. And now that we're mostly plant-based as well, it now covers a lot of bases. And I think that's why people from all walks of life can actually enjoy the crumble.
So it's kind of cross-dietary as well because anyone can have it. That's not a phrase. Just made that up. Cross-dietary, that'll do. Get that trademark. It's not going on a t-shirt though, I'll tell you that much.
Listen, if I don't mind.
Damn!
Although I might do one that has like a dotted box for like a custard landing zone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like that.
Or like we Target or something.
If you could even get slightly not laminated, slightly.
You just wipe it.
Just wipe it straight off. Comes with a bib. That's what the millennials, that's what we all need.
I need.
You're excited about coming to the containers. That is.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
You can see that. It's going to be so awesome. Why do you talked about what was it attracted you to it though? Because when you saw the plans coming out, you saw the things that were getting teased out.
So, sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all.
But no, I was going to be part of another one.
Right.
That didn't happen in the end. And this just happened. And I believe everything happened for me for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if I worded that right. But anyway, everything that I've done has organically fallen into place. And I believe I put it out there. Like I do put it out there. This is what I want, and it seems to happen. And this has just come at the right time.
Yeah.
And I love the location.
Yep.
I love the city it's in. Like Glasgow's not a city I know well, but since I've been walking around it, being part of it, it's a vibe. Yeah. Like I'm loving it, and the food scene here is like it's a forward food scene compared to other cities I've been to. Yeah. This is the spot, and it just seems to be perfect for the Crumbleologist.
And we're going to get a little bit of everything. We are going to get a little bit of everything in terms of, I think the people that are going to be coming there, it's going to be like right across the generations. It's going to be awesome. The final question, the one we haven't asked on this podcast is, why Crumbleologist? Why did you settle on that name? I can't imagine it being called anything else now. Well, was there any other names?
The Church of Crumble. But that's also because I wanted to like lease a church and have it as a crumble bar. And then I would have my crumble followers, all that kind of stuff. But it was either a science or a religion.
Oh, I love that.
And I taught computer science. And then it's all about ratios. It's all about the actual recipe for the crumble topping. You know, the experimenting of throwing flavors together, see what happens. So then it was Crumbleologist. And I'm the Crumbleologist.
We went for Church of Crumble.
Yeah.
In this city.
And someone has called me Crumble Jesus before, but we're not going to go into that.
Well, I believe you said you'd rather crumble Jesus.
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 Just for the hairs.
Right, well, listen, Alan, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Talking to you. We can obviously still find you all on social media.
Yes.
Trust me, if you put in Crumbleologist, it will be Alan the Pub's
Yeah. And the icon is a tub of crumble with custard dripping and a cherry on top. Just in case you have any other ideas of what that icon is, that's what it is. Just saying. That's why it's an O.
There's a lot of perverts in there. But thankfully, they're hungry. So make sure to come down and check out the Crumbleologist. The cost is still at the baddest, but they're going to be at the Clydeside Containers very, very soon. Alan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time on the Clydeside Containers Podcast. Cheers.
Thank you.